We're live.
Hey, hello, Sheila.
So
I guess
we're having,
we don't have
we're having a few problems today, right?
yeah. I guess we don't have our intro, but that's all right. So I'm blaming it on what's happening Sunday. That's what I'm doing.
Sunday.
It's
What are you
Halloween.
doing?
It's Halloween.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's Halloween. So that's what
Well,
yesterday's power failures, internet crashes, computer blow-ups, and everything else you could think of that we had to cancel the show, and well, not cancel it but postpone it till tonight. And then things were acting up in the dungeon for Ray. So but we are here, we're live. This is our Sonar accessory show. Really excited about this because there's a lot of cool stuff for people to see. um,
uh-huh.
yeah, and then
Well, no, I'm
we'll
excited about it tonight too. Very much.
yes. So in any event, we are live and we are ready to start the show. So we're going to be back on here in a little bit. We're going to watch this first piece and come back on in just a few minutes.
That sounds like a plan to me.
Sounds good. See you in a few. Hey, Mike Del Visco here with you. My friends at Lowrance have some really cool stuff coming out this year. It's already out. You're going to start seeing it in some of the stores. And the very first thing is a brand new updated Elite machine. Same touchscreen operation as the old Elite machines, but we're now calling this the Elite FS, or Elite Fishing System. And some of the main differences, actually the big difference between this particular machine and the Elite TI2 from last year, is that we've now incorporated an Ethernet port into the back of the unit. And there's a special purpose for that, which I'll talk about here in just a minute. But it's the first Elite machine that actually is networkable between other units. So you can share, your maps, you can share your sonar, you can share your waypoints via Ethernet, which you couldn't do before in the other Elite machines. As far as operation, the machine's going to operate the same as all the other Elite machines and all our other machines like the HDS Live and Carbon, Gen 3, all those others that are used to that platform. It's going to operate the same, but we do have now a one key programmable button that was so popular in our HDS Live machines. We've incorporated one of those buttons into the Elite FS, where you can have a short press, a long press, and be able to get different functions like waypoints and screen captures and toggle between split screen windows and things like that. So just another convenience feature that we've added here into the Elite FS. But probably the biggest thing, or the biggest two things, is we've incorporated our Contour Plus mapping, which was new for last year too, built directly into this machine. So you're going to get a lot better maps built right into your machine. You're going to be able to find that structure, find those fish, find those areas a lot more easily with this Contour Plus mapping from CMAP. And then the big thing that we've done is we've made this machine where it uses the new active target. I know a lot of you guys have been really excited about that. When are we coming out with it? And it is out. They're starting to ship now. In this machine right here, you don't need to spend thousands and thousands of dollars with an HDS Live or a Carbon to be able to get the functionality of the active target right on your screen. And that is probably one of the most exciting things that I'm excited about this year is the active target. We've been waiting a long time for it. It's finally coming out. A lot of you guys that were waiting for it, you're finally going to get to have it this year in your boats. And basically, the active target, 3 different modes of viewing. So you've got your traditional down view, which is 18 degrees from the side and 135 degrees forward back. So you're going to get great viewing at the bottom, be able to see fish in a live situation directly under the boat. You're going to get to see how they react in the cover, how they react to your bait, how they react in live time directly on your screen. You've also got another situation where you can look forward. Now, I like to use that forward mode if I'm searching areas, and especially if I'm looking for brush piles or up under docks, or just looking for that structure out in front of the boat. That forward mode does a really, really good job of that, as well as finding fish and seeing how they're positioned in the cover as well. Same viewing area, 18 degrees to the side, 135 degrees forward backward, so you're going to get a great picture of whatever you're trying to scan. And then the really cool thing, and this is, situational, if I get into, those late fall period times or late summer, especially here in East Tennessee, when those fish get up off the bottom, they start to school, they're out in deeper water, and they're just kind of roaming around. We have what's called a scout mode, which you can actually rotate your transducer on the trolling motor shaft to look like this. So now you're getting that 135 degrees this way, 18 degrees that way, so that when those fish are schooling up top of the water, you can chase them. That's a really, really cool feature, one that I'm really excited about, because it just opens up an entirely new opportunity to be able to find fish, whereas before you're just casting and casting and casting, trying to figure out where they are. Maybe you're throwing a big swim bait or a big topwater bait, and you're continuously searching with your fishing methods to try to find those fish. Now you can turn this into scout mode and be able to search a giant area and be able to find those fish, find the schools of bait fish, find where the fish are, and be able to catch them more efficiently and a lot quicker than ever before. So Active Target, really, really cool thing. New from Lowrance. Operational as far as hooking everything up, really, really simple. And that's one of the reasons why on this Elite FS machine that they have an Ethernet port, because that's all controlled right through this box right here. So very, very simple. You're going to run power to one side. You're going to have your Ethernet cord going from this box to the unit, and then your transducer is going to plug directly into the box right there. Now that box is useful because there's a tremendous amount of data going through here, just like with our 3D box and the PS1 box that you would use like for your carbon with some of our other transducers. So that just feeds all the data and makes everything look awesome on this screen. As far as some of the different types of settings that you would want with your active targets, you'll see here on the right-hand screen, just like with every other window that you go in, you've got a menu screen on the right-hand side where you can go ahead and you can select downrange anywhere from 20 to 400 feet. You can also select the contrast, noise rejection. You've also got a more options button, which gets you into the different palettes. And that's really a personal thing, what color palettes that you like versus others. And I traditionally like number 3, which is kind of that golden brown palette, is really, really nice. That's the one that I use the most. But the blue one's also really good. It just depends upon what type of situation that you're in and what you're fishing. And sometimes different covers look better under different palettes. So you can play around with that. It's your choice. Coming back out of there, you have what's called stable view, which controls, like if you're really wavy in the boat, if there's a lot of waves and it's going back and forth, that just stabilizes your view a little bit. Come back out of there, and then you've got modes of either automatic, down, forward, or scout. So pretty simple operation on the menu side, whether you're looking down, whether you're looking forward, or whether you're looking scout mode. I'm Mike Del Visco. Check these out. We're here at Bass Boat Electronics, East Tennessee Fishing Show online version. He's got all the stuff in stock. You're going to love the new products from Lowrance. Hey, it's Mike Del Visco here with you. Last year or so, Lowrance has had this ghost trolling. You've got a downrange setting, you've got a contrast setting. select your downrange. It's Mike Del Visco with in stock. You're going to love the new products from Lowrance this year.
Catch the best in outdoor products every month on the Outdoor Showcase. Hosts Sheila Bunch and Mike Del Visco bring you new, unique, and awesome products for the outdoors, featuring guests and segments. Whether you fish, boat, camp, or just love the outdoors, there's always something for everyone. We are live the last Thursday of every month on the Pride Outdoor Network, available on Fire TV and Roku. For more info or to have your products showcased, visit theoutdoorshowcase.com. We'll see you in the great outdoors.
Oh, hey.
You said it was Halloween. I'm Catwoman. Okay. Mine's over with. Darn.
You're going to have some fun. Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
I think that's it. Yeah, we did that, but that was done over the wintertime. That was our friends from Bass Boat Electronics, Jason and the gang there. I went down there and shot that. And I left the bloopers in there just because it was kind of funny and I laughed about it. I forgot all about the bloopers at the end. So
yeah, you didn't tell me all about that. I really liked that part.
Yeah, kind of having a little fun with that. But we've got a ton more great content. This was the Sonar accessory show. So, not so much on the Sonar units themselves, but a whole bunch of cool stuff that will help your using of your sonar experience be a lot better, from mounts to cable management stuff. I'm not going to give it all away. That we've got a few things that I kind of went through and hand selected and put a little montage together of some really cool things for sonar.
Yes.
And one thing that I know you wanted to talk about now is the Outdoor Showcase has its own Facebook page. So simply go to the Outdoor Showcase, jump on there, give it a like, and you'll be watching all the great content. You can still find us. We're still going to broadcast live on the East Tennessee Fishing Show Facebook page, along with the Outdoor Showcase Facebook page and Pride Outdoor Network. So just more places to see us. And jump on there and give it a like.
Yeah, well, do I have time to make my announcement? If not, I can do it later.
Yes, you can certainly do that.
Okay, well, we talked, and the fishing show's coming up in January 20th, the 23rd, and we have decided that we're going to give away a prize at the end of November for one lucky winner. And Ray's going to get the details together for everyone. But we're actually going to, should I tell what we're giving away?
Oh, yeah, you got to.
Okay, I can go ahead and tell what we're giving away. Okay, so we're giving away a 2-night stay at one of the hotels in Knoxville that's close to the show, with tickets, 2-day passes to get in the fishing show. What do you think, Mike?
I like that a lot.
Well, the reason we came up with that, people have been wanting to buy tickets ever since about August. So I think this is going to be a fabulous year for us. But we've had some people on this show alone that are from way different states. And I thought it would just be nice if we did something like this to let them give a chance to win, but also something they want to win.
Awesome. So we're going to have all the details posted on the Outdoor Showcase Facebook page. It will be an Outdoor Showcase contest. So go on the Facebook page. I guess it'll be a like, share. Wait for the details. We should have that up here pretty soon. We'll make an announcement on that.
Yes.
And the winner will get a really cool opportunity to go to the East Tennessee Fishing Show, stay at a hotel,
get to see all the cool stuff because you really can't see it all in one day. You need a
Nope.
couple of days at that show to see everything and take it all in. So awesome contest. Can't wait for that to start. Right now, though, I'm ready to get on with the Sonar Must-Haves. This is the best of the best stuff that I could possibly find that you need to put on your sonar gear to make it better and make your life a whole easier out.
That sounds wonderful to me. I've got
Very
my
good.
popcorn ready somewhere.
Okay, get your popcorn.
All right.
There's no doubt that some of the biggest advances in fishing technology have come in our modern day sonar units. And with all this new technology comes new and innovative companies that produce unique and functional products. These products make using all of these electronics a more enjoyable experience. So this is the Outdoor Showcase Sonar Must-Haves. The guys at Ashmore Marine Products have a great line of unique and functional sonar accessories. One of my favorites is this cable management system that helps you protect all your external transducer cables running down the shaft of your trolling motor. They also have a really cool line spooling system that attaches to your compartment lid, making it easy to spool up your reels and gives you a place to store your favorite baits. They also have a cool protective cover for your live transducers that protect it while driving down the road and while running down the lake.
Hey guys, Randy Howell here. I'm in my garage and I'm looking at my boat, getting all my stuff tweaked out here, and I want to show you a quick little item here. If you've got the very hard to get, sought after active target from Lowrance on your boat right here on you, and if you're lucky enough to have the Lowrance Ghost trolling motor, it's even better. But the active target, these things are awesome and they're the hottest item on the market, and you need to protect this thing. Once you get it, it's no way to protect it when it's just sitting out here. It sticks out on the boat, it can run into the dock, it can have rock can fly up and hit it when you're going down the road. A lot of things can happen to it. So something that I found early in the year to protect it. This is a cool little item that a buddy of mine named Chad Ashmore Marine Products. He made this cool little cover, and this is a hard, I don't know what it's made of, this heavy duty, and it just simply goes right over the active target and it screws right into the existing hole that is on the active target. So you can I put this on every time I travel. If I put my cover on or not, it's locked in place. Boom, anything hits it, it's safe. You don't have to worry about it. So check it out, Ashmore Marine Product. He's got them for all brands, not just the active target, but all the other brands too. So protect your investment. We'll see you out there on the water. God bless.
Now check out this cool mount from our friends at Beat Down Outdoors. This is just one of their innovative mounts that literally raises your graphs up and gets them at a level you can see better. Super durable and made to last, Beat Down Outdoors has one of the most unique and innovative mounts I've ever seen. If you're looking to protect your investment, you need to check out DuraSafe locks. Easily installed by removing your existing gimbal knob and attaching the cylinder in its place. Then simply lock the outer locking sleeve right to the cylinder. This keeps your sonar units locked right to your gimbal mount. They're a great investment to keep your sonar units safe. Now that more anglers are using more than one graph, it's essential to have good clean power to get your sonar units reading correctly and operating in a safe manner. So my friends at Clear Power have come up with a solution to install all your graphs right to one battery source, giving them good, clean power.
Hey guys, Nathan Martin here with Clear Power. The two biggest problems I see that people make when they're installing their marine electronics is their transducer placement and the way that they power their units up. At Clear Power, we have designed and patented the first marine graph wiring harness to run two designated lines to your unit. We make sure that your units are getting no voltage drops, no electrical interference, and that's going to do a couple things. It's going to make your unit faster, it's going to make your structure scan pick up faster when you come off pad, and it's going to clear your image up on your units. These are really easy to install. All you have to do is fish a fish tape through your boat, tape it to the long end, the 26-foot run, and pull it all the way to the front of the boat. You'll have another 13-foot run that'll come off at the dash. Once you've pulled your 2 tags out at the front and at the dash, you take your power wire from your units and you simply unscrew the connector, put your ground into the ground side, and put your hot with your fuse into the hot side. At the back, you connect the ground to the ground terminal on the battery and the hot to the on-off switch at the back. And you always want to run it to an on-off switch, and this is why. These units, every brand, they pull a little bit of power even when they're not turned on. So you do not want to be pulling your battery power down while you're trying to charge them up. This C-Clear power wiring harness will work on all 4 brands: Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin, Raymarine. It has 2 20-amp fuses, so you can put up to 4 units on each line as long as you don't have something else that's pulling some amps. If you do, you just change the fuse at the back from a 20 to a 30, and you can put more on each line. You can find us at cclearpower.com or ask about us at your local marine dealership. We want to help you find more fish and catch more fish, and we look forward to seeing you on the water.
If you want to learn how to read your sonar graphs better, well, you're going to want to check this out.
During the last 3 decades, I've taught countless people how to read and understand their sonar graphs, and now I'm bringing that experience to you with a brand new Understanding Sonar program. This easy-to-follow program shows you how sonar works and how to incorporate all the different things our sonar units can do to help you locate and catch more fish. I go through all aspects, including 2D sonar, downscan, side scan, GPS and mapping, and putting it all together out on the water. Understanding Sonar is available by direct download, or if you prefer, a hard copy DVD. Either way, you get the same great information. So if you don't get Sonar, then visit get-sonar.com and you'll be on your way to understanding what you're seeing and start catching more fish.
Hey, Mike Del Visco back with you at the Outdoor Showcase. And man, what a bunch of cool sonar accessories that you guys just saw, from, you know, the really cool stuff from Beatdown Outdoors, their mounts. You can raise your graphs up in the air, to, you know, DuraSafe to protect your sonar units when you're traveling on the road. That's a must-have for, you know, anybody that's got expensive sonar units on their boat. All the cool stuff from Ashmore Marine, just really innovative things. And, you know, we capped that segment off with a little tease on C-Clear Power, which is something that I've been using now for quite a while, since they came out with this. And, you know, when I first saw it, I was like, man, why didn't anybody ever think of that before? And we got him here right now, Nathan Martin from C-Clear Power. Friend of mine for a long time and innovator of the C-Clear Power Harness. What a cool product, and something that solves a ton of issues for not only guys that just have 1 or 2 sonar units, but, you know, 3, 4, and 5, and even 6 units in your boat. You solve a lot of problems.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk to you guys tonight.
Yeah. So let's just begin for people who don't know what a C-Clear Power Harness is. What is it, and how did you come up with it? Because I don't even know if I know that story.
So the harness is a universal harness that you can pull through your boat. You know, these boat manufacturers, they wire the boat for what comes standard on the boat, and a lot of times that's, you know, a smaller 9-inch unit. A lot of times it's an Elite TI, or, you know, a Helix unit or something that's on a lower grade unit. They don't usually come with, you know, these high powered units that we usually upgrade our boat to. And so they're just not wired properly for adding, you know, even 2 big live 12s. But, you know, most of us like to have 3, 4, 5 12-inch units, a live scope, active target, 360, you know, Ethernet box. All that takes power, and it's got to have the right proper volts going to these units to make them perform like they're supposed to perform. and it's got to be clean power. It can't just be, 12 volts. That's dirty power. It's got to be clean, adequate power. And, I worked for Lowrance for 3 or 4 years when I got out of college. And also I did an internship with them when I was in college. And, I managed the pro staff for the Southeast. That's how I met you. And, a lot of the guys that were on pro staff, they were, even though they were very experienced with the electronics, they were still experiencing this low voltage issue. And it was something that I experienced for a long time. And luckily I did get that internship with Lowrance, and I got to meet Mark Sullivan and all those great guys at Navico. And I got to talk to the engineers at Lowrance and figure out, how do they get these images to look so incredibly clear? And I mean, we've all heard it. The units don't look like the box. My batteries are dying throughout the day. Just the very common issues that everybody runs into with running these high powered units. And so when I got to talk to all the engineers there, I figured out, what they were doing. And obviously, being an electronics guru, I wanted my units to be, the cleanest and crispest unit that there was. I wanted to see everything down there. I didn't want to miss anything. And so I just started brainstorming, and I knew what they were doing to get their pictures, and I knew what was missing in the boat. And so over the course of a couple of years, we did a lot of R&D and trying out different harnesses and figuring out, what we could do to make this something we could sell in the retail market and help a lot of people. That's the main reason that I made it was, I fielded so many phone calls as the pro staff coordinator. I almost became like a customer service for the Southeast. I mean, everybody was calling me and asking me, questions about their units and why they was doing this and why I was doing that. And 95% of the time it was low voltage and dirty power. And I have an innovation engineering minor that I got at the University of North Alabama, and I used it in my business degree and put this harness together. And I knew it was going to solve a big problem. I didn't really realize, that it was as big a problem as it is. I knew it was a big problem, but turns out it's a gigantic problem.
Yeah.
And so we made this harness that you can plug any unit to. It doesn't matter if it's Garmin, Lowrance, Humminbird, Raymarine, Simrad. It doesn't matter. You plug your unit into this harness, and it's going to get clean, adequate power to it. And it's going to do two things. It's going to make your unit super clear. It's going to look like the box. And so that's a huge plus. Everybody wants their units to be clear. Nobody wants to miss fish. Nobody wants their units to look good at 8 a.m. and at 3 p.m. the dots look different. That's going to totally mess with people's heads. It's already hard enough to distinguish what you're looking at these units without hours and hours and hours behind them. And if your units don't look the same at 8 a.m. as they do at 3 p.m., it's just going to make that learning curve that much bigger and harder. And so, with this harness, you're going to get adequate power and clean power, and your units are going to look the same at 8 a.m. as they do at 3 p.m. And the dots are going to be nice and distinguished, and you can distinguish your bait fish from your game fish and distinguish even different species a lot easier because everything is going to look the same all the time. And, another big problem is the batteries dying. You hear people putting, 2, sometimes 3 batteries back there trying to keep power all day, and all they're doing is damaging 3 batteries instead of damaging just 1.
Right.
With this harness, all you need is the harness and 1 Group 31 AGM battery. I run 4 HTS 12 Lowrance Lives, active target, 2 power poles, my motor, my live wells, lights, pumps, everything on 1 Group 31 Odyssey battery. And, it makes my boat perform better. It's lighter. I start the day with 12.6 volts and I end the day with 12.6 volts. I don't ever have to worry about
do I want to go hit that last spot? Am I going into low voltage? So I just go back to the weigh-in. I get to maximize my entire day out on the water with this harness, and I don't have to buy a battery every 8 months.
Yeah.
So,
And the one thing is that I was going to say this earlier when you were talking about, is that it couldn't have happened at a better time for you. When you think about what's happened over the last maybe 3 or 4 years, we never saw guys with 3, 4, 5 units on their boats. And now that, as technology keeps, gaining momentum with, the new forward looking or live sonar, side scan, down scan, 360, all these different things, and all these boxes and modules that need power. What a perfect time for you to come up with this and be able to solve that issue and be able to deliver clean power to all those devices.
yeah, this business model would probably not even work. It may have worked 3 years ago or so when we started getting the touchscreen technology and the amp started coming up. But, even then we were only running, 1 or 2 of those units max. And now, everybody's got 2. Most people's got 3. A lot of people got 4 and 5 units, and the live scope and the active target and the 360. And I mean, we sold a harness the other day for a guy that had 5 units, a 360, a live scope, 2 Ethernet boxes. So the harness supported all that. You only needed 1 harness for all of it.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of power, and if your units are going into low voltage and your amp draw goes up, I haven't done testing to see exactly, how high the amps get when they go into low voltage, because there's so much variation between how low the volts get and how high the amps get. But it's definitely dramatic. You can't, you take my boat, for example, starts at 12.6, and the lowest I've ever seen my battery is at 12.4.
Yeah.
Well, the lifespan of that battery depends on how many times it gets drawn down, below 50%. I've been running this Odyssey battery for 3.5 years, and it's because I've had it on this harness, and the amps are always as low as they could possibly be with the units, and the volts are high. And so the battery doesn't get stressed out, and it'll last a long time, like what the warranty says it should last.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
with my company, all I try and do is fix the problems that I have.
Right.
And that was just a huge issue. I remember one time very vividly, I was fishing a college tournament on Gunnersville, and I got out there, and I had just put my units on. They were HDS 10 Gen 2s, non-touch. I mean, that was one of the best units that was ever made for a long time. And I got out there, and there was a film on the bottom of the lake, and I was like, I mean, it looks weird, and the film was covering up the dots, and it was terrible. I couldn't distinguish what anything was. I couldn't be confident in what I was seeing. I'd roll over stuff and wouldn't know if it was bass or if it was, I know it was fish, but I couldn't tell what it was because, there was no standard for what it should be and look like. And that was dirty power that was doing it. And
Right.
That was when I started working on this to figure out what was going on and get this problem fixed, because
Right.
I knew how Lowrance was getting their pictures, and those are legit pictures that are sonar logs and recorded straight off the unit and put into a file. And so I knew it was possible to get my units to look like that. And so that's what I did. I just really started working on that harness, and trust me, there was several that were not pretty and would never have worked on a retail shelf. But
Right.
I feel like we finally got it right, and it's dialed in, and
Yes.
we haven't had any returns. We've been in business since December 6th of 2020, and I think we've returned 5 harnesses, and those 5 never got put in a boat. So we haven't had any that went in a boat and they didn't love it and send it back.
Right. And we'll actually talk about the harness here in a little bit. But two things that people don't realize too is that especially if you've got one of the bigger machines like a 15-inch or a 16-inch machine, or even 12 sometimes, if you're not wired properly, and I've seen this happen on guys' boats, you go ahead and you turn the key to start, especially after maybe 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 in the afternoon, you've had your live well pumps running, you've had other stuff going, your batteries are getting a little depleted. You go ahead and you crank that key, and sometimes your graphs will flash. And so I've seen them go black and white. I've seen them do all kinds of crazy things. You could damage your units, by not having good, clean power.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. And then the other thing too is that people don't realize that even with your boat shut off, those graphs are always drawing a little bit of power, a little bit. So if you don't plug your battery charger in, and you go a whole week, your batteries are already not up to snuff when you get out there and you go fish. So you're already starting at a disadvantage.
Yeah, you don't run your boat or your truck on low oil. You don't need to run your units on low power. It's the same deal. We spend $10,000 to $15,000 on these electronics now. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't invest in the proper wiring for them and the proper battery for them. And if you get the right wire and the right battery, you got to buy it one time, and it's good for 5 or 6 years. It's not like a fishing rod or something that can break. The connectors on our harness are reusable. If you decide 1 year you're running Lowrance, the next year you want to run all Garmin, harness still works, inline fuses still work. All you got to do is unscrew the connectors and run the inline fuse holders up on your new power wires and plug it right into the harness and screw it back down. And the boat's wired for its entire rest of its life for any type of electronic accessories that you want to add to it.
Mm-hmm. And we're actually we're going to take a real short break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the harness because there's some really cool stuff that you've done. And I saw some of the early ones, some of the, and it's even better now than what it was before. So we're going to take a short break. Mike Delvisco, Nathan Martin, Sea Clear Power. We'll be right back.
Attention! The East Tennessee Fishing Show is back. The biggest and best fishing event in the South returns January 20th through the 23rd. Shop the largest selection of custom tackle for bass, crappie, striper, fly fishing, catfish, and more. Plus, we have added saltwater. Get the best deals of the year on new boats. Learn about the latest in fishing equipment with free seminars from top anglers. It's back. Don't miss the biggest fishing event of the year, the East Tennessee Fishing Show.
Hey, Mike Delvisco back with you here, Outdoor Showcase, part 2 with Nathan Martin from Sea Clear Power. And, we talked a lot about the advantages of the Sea Clear harness, but one of the cool things that I noticed is the ease of actually being able to put all your graphs and all your accessories right to the harness. You really thought things out the right way with the quick disconnect, to plug all your power, your positive, your negative in, and then your fuses too. And when somebody buys one of your harnesses, they can just go get some fuses or use the ones that come in the box with their electronics. But man, those fuses that you have, a little bit thicker wire, it's got those quick disconnects, so it's really easy to hook everything together. It can't be any simpler.
No, that was something that I really was wanting to do with the harness. Is it's already intimidating, especially for somebody that doesn't have any experience wiring something up. When you think about wiring up your electronics, for one, they're expensive, so you're just scared to death you're going to mess them up. 2, you're scared you're going to start a fire in your boat, if you're not very familiar with it. So I had all that in mind when I made the harness. I wanted to make it as simple and straightforward, color-coded as you could. And so, we used the connectors that we did because they just twist on and off. You can see here, this is one of the inline fuse holders that we use. When you get our harness, you need an inline fuse holder for each unit. if you got an active target, live scope, 360, Ethernet box, or NEMA, or if you've got one of the older units and you've got a LSS2 box even, or a 3D structure scan box, you'll want to run that into the harness as well, and that's it. You don't want to run anything with the trolling motor. You don't want to run hydro waves, anything like that. You want to keep it just from the electronics and keep all that power clean. But you can see with this connector here, this is what will come with the inline fuse holder. Obviously, you got your fuse in the holder, but this connector here, you know, you can have everything right wiring your boat, and then you can do one little thing wrong, and it can just totally mess up the entire system. You can crimp it too hard, you can crimp it too soft, you can run it to a bus panel. All those things are not good connections, and anytime you don't have a good connection, you're going to go into low voltage. And when you go into low voltage, the amp draw is going to go up, and you're going to stress that battery out. So when you get our harness, these connectors are the magic of it. They're bulletproof. You just untwist it here, and so this same connector that we send yellow ones on the inline fuse holders. On the harness, we send red and black ones so that you know, obviously the red connector is for the hot, the black connectors are for the grounds. But you just take your wire. This is the inline fuse holder, but you would put the power wires for your units the same way, and the inline fuse holders into the red connectors on the harness the same way. You just untwist the end of the connector. You can see that it is just empty through there, and you just run the wire up through it. You want to get about that much of it sticking out, and then you just take the connector and twist it back on. And that's it. I mean, it requires no tools. The only tools you need to install this harness is maybe a screwdriver to get your bow plate and console plate off, and something to mount your switch at the back, and some wrenches to put the loads on. That's it. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of tools to wire your boat up properly. We've tried to make it as simple as you can possibly do or make it. But you see, I can put that back on the inline fuse holder. Your power wire for your unit or 360 or whatever you're going to put into this harness, you just unscrew the other end. So both ends, this end will screw off, and you can put your inline fuse holder on it. Of course, it'll come on the harness. So when you get yours, all you'll have to do is untwist this end here, undo it, and then put your power wire, the hot wire, on your unit into here and screw it down, and you're done. On the ground side, you just strip the ground back and you'll run it directly into the harness. So I got a harness here as well. You can see it'll come like this right here. You got your battery disconnect switch, you got your jumper wire, you got your harness. The inline fuse holders, you just untwist the end of the red connector, and you can put both up to 3. We recommend putting up to 3 inline fuse holders into the red connectors, and 3 grounds into the black connector. You know, some people like Jacob Wheeler that are running 3 units and 360 and live scope or active target. We've got a bow adapter where you can plug one end into the hot and the ground, and then it splits off into two reds and 2 blacks. So you can put, you know, two into each connector and make sure you get a good connection there. But yeah, we've tried to make this thing so simple that literally it's all color coded. You put the yellow connector for the inline fuses on the red wire on your power wire, run the end of the inline fuse holders into the red connector, and strip back the black connector or the black power wires and run it into the black connector. And then at the back, there'll be 2 grounds and 2 hots. They'll both come together in an eyelet. You'll run the hot wires to the back of the cutoff switch, and then the harness will come with a 20-inch jumper that you will put on the opposite post on the back of the switch that you put your 2 hots on, and then run that jumper to the hot post on the cranking battery, and then the 2 blacks will come together in an eyelet, and they'll just go directly to the ground terminal on the cranking battery. And the hardest part is getting it through the boat. A lot of boats is very simple to get through. You wouldn't believe it, but the bigger wire seems like it comes through the boat better because it doesn't bend on the corners as bad as just regular wire does. So most of the time it'll come through fairly easily, and you'll be able to do your boat real fast, and you'll also know where everything is connected in case there was an issue somewhere in the day. I've never been running down the river and ever had a problem with the harness, but if you do it yourself, you know where all that stuff is, and or if you didn't get your active target in because the supply chain was so bad, and then all of a sudden you got it at a tournament and you need to put it on in the parking lot, it won't take you that long because you got this harness
right there. Yeah, take your bow plate off. You got your 2 quick disconnects right there at the bow. You got 2 of them right there at the console too. When you need to change stuff around, like I changed some graphs around on my boat earlier this summer, and trying something new out, and it made it so much easier. I didn't have to go trace the power wire, the negative wire going underneath the console, wired into a bus plate or something like that. It was so much easier. Undo them, put the new ones in, screw it down, put everything back together. You're out fishing again. It's super simple. And like you said, the hardest part's probably running the thing, and get a fish tape, go to Lowe's and get you a fish tape, and start from the bow and run it all the way through and pull it. Sometimes I'll start from the console. I've done it that way too, and that works pretty good. You don't need to pull it as far.
We always start at the bow and try and fish that snake all the way to the back. And obviously you want to take the connectors off the harness before you pull it through the boat so you don't lose any parts trying to pull it through. But take the connectors off, fish your snake to the back. Big question we get is Rangers, how do you get it back there? All right, so the Ranger tubes stop right behind the gear shifter. So we'll take 2 wire snakes, one from the bow, one from the back, meet at the console, and either zip tie them or tape them together, and then pull both of them all the way back to the batteries, and then take the connectors off the harness and tape the 13-foot run to the 26-foot run so that they're in line and they'll be pulled through the boat without getting hung on anything real easily. And that's how we do it on the Rangers. That's really the only boat that's a little tough to get the harness through. But once you do it once, it's pretty easy.
Yeah. And I know my Phoenix was super easy to do. It wasn't hard at all.
The Phoenixes are one of the most easy boats to rewire there is, for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just don't have time to do their own installs. Even if they knew how to do it, they just don't have time. They'd rather be making money than spending the time doing their own installs. So,
and that's why you do them right there.
We have a lot of dealers. We've probably got 60-something dealers across the U.S. that carry the harness, and the dealers love it because they can teach people so fast how to do these installs, and they don't have to worry about their riggers putting it to the wrong thing on a bus panel or having to have a customer come back because it was wired wrong. And they can get their installs out faster.
Very cool. And we're just about out of time. I can't believe it's gone so fast, but you did share with me something the other day. I was actually down at the shop and you showed me a little something that was really cool you got coming out, kind of a new product, a new venture for you guys, and something else for some people to get excited about. And I'm going to let you show it to us if you got one back there.
Yeah. So, I said earlier, I'm just trying to fix all my problems. That's what they always taught us in innovation engineering is find a problem and fix it. And so, one time I was fishing a college tournament on, I believe it was Logan Martin, and it was the worst fog I've ever seen in my life. I got out there and couldn't see my face or couldn't see my hand, and could hear boats running all around me, and I was just scared to death. And so I wanted to figure out how to make myself more visible on the water, and we've come out with this 4-foot LED light pole. This thing changes colors, it strobes, it fades in and out. You can leave it on a constant color. It's got different colors. I think it's red, green, yellow, purple, blue, dark blue, maybe orange. But it turns colors, and it's super bright. You can make it just white at the top. It is Coast Guard approved. It comes with your purchase. It comes with a piece of paper that's got the Coast Guard approval number on it. Just the top part will light up when you're running to make it Coast Guard approved. When you're not running, you can have all the colors on. It's got a where you can do just all bright, and you would not believe how bright this light is, but I promise you, you can put this light in the back of your boat, and you can see sitting up there on the deck of your boat how to tie up. We're always at the last minute trying to think about what we're going to do the morning before, sitting there thinking about that last minute tie up, and a lot of times nobody can find their headlamp, and they're trying to hold their cell phone with their chin or whatever. You don't have to do it with this light anymore.
Yeah.
And then also duck hunters. A lot of duck hunters, I didn't really think about it when I was thinking about coming out with this, but a lot of the duck hunters are loving it because they can put it on their boat and pull up to their hole and throw all their decoys out, and don't have to worry about did my batteries get wet the day before and not work the next day. So a lot of guys are really liking it in the duck hunting world too.
Cool.
But obviously you just want to be more safe on the water. Anytime you can, make yourself more visible, you're going to be safer. We only got one life, so might as well try and protect it the best we can while we're enjoying the things we love to do.
Yep. And that is so cool. So if people want to find out a little bit more, they want to, I know you have a complete install video on your website too. It's about 20 minutes long. People can go and check that out. You've got the harnesses for sale, as well as other accessories and stuff to make your sonar life a whole lot better. And then you'll have the light on your website too. Let's give that website out before we have to sign off for this evening.
Yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to us, our website is seaclearpower.com. That's SEACLEAR power.com. My email is Nathan, NATHAN, at seaclearpower.com, or you can call me at 256-436-9604. You can pretty much find us anywhere: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. You can shoot us direct messages there. If you go on YouTube, if you type in Sea Clear Power, you can find our page and look at all of our installation videos, or you can find a lot of our videos on our website as well. So, go to any of those sources if you're looking for us.
Awesome. Nathan, thanks so much for being on. We've been talking about this for a while. I'm finally glad I was able to get you on here and talk to everybody about something that's so important for their electronics and their sonar graphs and all their accessories, to be able to, get good, clean power to them. It's a great way to be able to do that and do it safely. And you solved a lot of problems. There he goes, Nathan Martin on the Outdoor Showcase. We're done with another show. It went by so fast. It was such a cool thing here. All the great sonar accessories that you've seen tonight, lots of cool stuff, innovative stuff. There's so much more, that we didn't even scratch the surface. We could probably do a whole nother hour on this stuff without any problem. But for right now, that's the end of this show. We'll see you next week on the Outdoor Showcase.